Hello guys, and welcome to another day with Zimaleta. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to remove your EGR. Even if it's stuck, I'm going to show you a way that you could actually remove it, because sometimes these EGRs are easy to remove, but if it hasn't been done in a while, then they're going to be quite difficult. So I'm going to show you like a little trick. Just be careful, with it, because with everything, how they say, if you're strong, you don't need wisdom. That means you'll just be able to break stuff. So yeah, you'll be able to remove it, but it will be like in one piece, right? So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Let's show you. All right, guys, here is the EGR. Now, what we're gonna need to do first is we're gonna need to remove the electrical connector by pressing down on this bottom section right here, and just pull it out, stick it out of the way. Then you have the EGR with 3 bolts. A lot of people say it's 4 bolts. Yes, there's 4 bolts, but there's only 3 you have to remove. You don't need to remove all 4 of them. So we're gonna need like one of these things. We're gonna need an E10 socket, which is right here. E10 socket. Gonna need a key like this, and then boom, we're gonna remove them. So we're gonna remove this bottom one. So we slightly removed that. Got it unstuck there, the bolts, and boom. So now that's done. So what I do is I like to just simply remove it off the tool and just go ahead and well, it's actually still not quite unstuck as I thought it was. Just with the tool, it's much easier. But sometimes I go ahead and do it just like you do it, like with a screwdriver. It's a lot easier. Just go grab it and that's it. Like, once it starts spinning on you. So we're gonna get those things loose. Now we're gonna grab a flathead screwdriver, and or you could grab a number 8, and you could remove this other. Well, no, that's like it's not a number 8. It's more like a number 7 or whatever. So we need to remove this clamp here that holds the little radiator hose. So I just undone it. Just simply remove it. If this hose is going to be stuck a little bit on yours, just give it some twists and turns with your hand. Do not like force it, like just twist it and turn it like this, and go ahead and pull it out. Some radiator fluid will come out, but it's fine, not all of it. And now what I'll go ahead and do, I'll just basically just use my tool and just pull out the rest of the bolts. Here's one. Go ahead and stick it on your radiator. It's a good place for all the parts. You can do that by hand almost. Now, guys, if somebody else has messed with your vehicle, chances are, they probably replace these bolts. So these bolts might not be like these E10s here, but these are original Mercedes, so you could put original stuff back on it if you want it. But it doesn't matter if it's got other bolts. Now guys, once you're gonna start removing, these things are pretty stuck and you really can't do nothing to them. So do not fear. Now you could do this kind of method where you use this tool and you stick it inside like that. Or you could use something like this. Stick it inside of that, but this pipe is going to be in the way. So I recommend remove these large holes here. So that's actually what I'm doing. If you cannot see what I'm doing, don't worry, I'm just removing a bolt from the big round turbo hose. And it does have an 8mm type of bolt on it. So I'm gonna remove mine real quick and get rid of this big piece of piping. Okay, and then I'm gonna remove this turbo hose. Just twist it out of the way. Boom. Let me see if you could see what I'm doing here. Yeah, you kind of see my camera has moved for some reason. Need to lock it up, keep it from moving. But you could see what I have removed. Yeah, sorry about that, guys, when it twists like that. I don't know why that happened. So here's the radiator hose that we removed from here. Don't lose the clamp. I just slide it down the pipe here. Now that this hose is out of the way, you have some room to work. You could take some kind of tool like this if you have it. Most likely you probably don't have it. This fits quite nice in there. And what you're gonna need to do is just kind of like rock it like this back and forth. Just keep doing that. You could also use the back of this wrench here, stick it in there like that, and that does the trick as well. Just be careful because this aluminum or whatever they made it out of, it is kind of yeah, okay, so now it's, I see it's moving like that. It's kind of weak, you know, as a metal. So when it does that, just rock it back and forth and just go ahead and use that tool to pull it up, because there's really nothing else that you could use. And you just rock it back and forth and pull it out. So now it's out. We could clearly see that this this EGR is damaged. You can see how it's got like holes, they're opened up like that. This EGR will always give you check engine lights. Here's the EGR gasket. You don't need to replace this. Some guys, they replace this anyways. You could if you wanted. It doesn't hurt to replace it. But it's not gonna hurt things if you don't. It's not gonna leak from there, believe me. They get so stuck in there, they don't leak. Now guys, keep in mind, you're gonna sweat a little bit when you're doing this. So if somebody's charging you $500, that's probably why they're charging you, to try to remove it. But you've seen, I didn't even cut or edit this video for one reason. Well, I had to turn it off to, you know, put it on this view here. But I didn't cut it or edit it. You could see how easy it is to actually remove your EGR. So don't fear removing it. I guess the hardest thing about it is, it's just getting all the tools ready. That is like the hardest thing. Going in your toolbox, pulling out all the tools. And you might be wondering, like, what is the tools again? Well, the tools will be either an 8mm socket or an E10, okay? So if you don't have the E's, it's okay. It's gonna be like an 8mm type of bolt. I had both of them here. I did show you my 8mm, and we got the E that's over there as well. I did get myself this little E set right here. This is by Gear Range. What I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to find you a deal and link it in, because they're kind of expensive. I think I paid like 40 bucks for it or something. I can't remember, so don't quote me, but every time you need some special tools, there's a hefty price. So my goal is to always find you like the cheapest prices possible. So, you know, if you're also doing this type of job, you probably know that it's your EGR. Maybe you don't. That you probably need to clean it, or perhaps you'll need to actually replace it. I will explain a little bit about the EGR. Why would you need to replace it? But I want to tell you guys, the best computer to try to get, guys, I'm going to link it at the bottom, you know, description below. So you could pick up a computer so you could actually scan it and to be able to find out if that's actually what you need to do or not. It's got a really nice detailed description there, and the price is very cheap. It's way cheaper than Harbor Tool. This is a $110 tool. It's exact the same one as Serge that Harbor Tools has. They have it for $200. They offer coupons sometimes, and they'll sell it to you like, I think like $159 or whatever with the coupon. You could do like a 25% off coupon, which will make it like $150. Those things are rare, but yeah, keep in mind, look how much I'm sweating, guys. It is a little dirty job, you know, so this time I'm not going to, like, you know, sweat and stuff on it. Now this jar is bad for two reasons. Sorry about the trucks, guys. I live on the highway here pretty much. The very first thing I want you to see here, you see how, like right now, I closed up those holes, okay? But naturally, if the spring is working, you see how it's supposed to close them up like that, but the spring is going way too far, and it's basically not closing all the way, guys. This will always give you a limp mode. You'll start off driving fine, and boom, like not even a mile down the road, you got a limp mode. And you're like, what the heck, you know? It's good to have those check engine light codes, because you could clear it just by hitting the eraser, and then okay, that's it. Like nothing else necessary. Very easy to clear. So it's bad for this reason, but we also have the electronical section bad. Normally these things should not disassemble these easy, but this one, because it was so hot, it dried out, so it's not quite doing its thing, because it needs to electronically, with all the metal and stuff, magnets, whatever's in there. I'm not sure if it's magnetic. Maybe that's another video or something, find out what it's about. But we're gonna be dissecting this one, find out like what went wrong, you know. I've been wanting to do this for a while, And this is the fourth bolt that people talk about. As you can see, this is a special one. I have this special tool. We'll be able to remove it, and there's another one right there. So this is to disconnect this. I'm not even sure. I guess it's part electric, part not. But it's able to detect whether the EGR is doing its job. I'm quite curious, like what's inside. Quite curious what's inside of this cap here. So we'll take it apart. Maybe we'll break it in the process, but who cares? We're gonna find out what the EGR is consisting of. Then what we're gonna try to figure out, let's say you have an old EGR, how could we use a little southern like iron or whatever by just completely tricking the EGR? And here's what I'm gonna teach you how to do. This is not gonna be in this video. We're gonna take like an old EGR thing like this, disassemble. We're gonna take this this original type of plug here, and we're going to solder inside a special resistor that will trick the computer into thinking the EGR is working just fine. And then what you could do is you could leave this old EGR in there and just put it in there, maybe along with this little thing, and it's gonna look like you have an EGR. But what you're gonna need to do is go ahead and close these connections off. Basically, maybe use some I don't know, JB weld or whatever, or some epoxy to glue it in there, because this will shut the EGR down. I mean, why would you need to construct a special tool if you already have this, you know, with a radiator fluid able to travel where it needs to go and stuff like that? So that's what I'm about, guys. I'm about really saving you money and just using what you have to be able to either fix this or just keep going. Now, somebody that I met while I was expediting and stuff, they said that it's really simple to fix the EGR, and you just take it apart and there's some kind of gasket there that breaks, and you just do like a permanent fix on it. I didn't quite understand it because he wasn't really speaking clearly. He's from another country, so I didn't know what he was really saying, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to figure out. I have figured everything out in the past. But anyways, guys, I hope this teaches you exactly like what to do when removing the EGR. This is not a full explanation what happens with the EGR. Watch some of my other videos. I'll explain everything what happens with the EGR. We'll do some tests and stuff like that. But this is just a little extra, you know, because anytime you work in this vehicle, you need as much help as possible, you know. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. Watch some other videos. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.